So Trump surrogates are using the same talking point to defend him after that New York Times report emerged over the weekend. They call Trump a, quote, genius for legally avoiding federal income taxes.
What it shows is what an absolute mess the federal tax code is, and that's why Donald Trump is the person best positioned to fix it. There's no one who's shown more genius in their way to maneuver around the tax code and to rightfully use the laws to do that.
Absolute genius. First of all, we're talking about 26 years ago. Perfectly legal. We should get that straight immediately. This is a perfectly legal application of the tax code. And he would have been a fool not to take advantage of it.
Well, let's bring in David Catanese, senior politics writer for U.S. News and World Report. How much is this issue likely to hurt Donald Trump's candidacy?
So I think there's two parts to it. I think the part on Trump possibly evading taxes for 20 years, although they haven't admitted it, they're coming very close to saying that he did so. I don't think his supporters are going anywhere on that. I think that he is someone who, from the beginning of his campaign, has billed himself as someone who has gamed the system, an insider who has used all the rules to maneuver his advantages in the political system. And I think that is the defense he will use. That is the defense that his supporters are using. But I think the second piece to this is a little more damaging. The $916 million loss, the business loss that he took in the 1990s. I mean, the predicate of Donald Trump's entire campaign is that he's a brilliant businessman. But he took huge losses on his Atlantic City casinos, on the New York Plaza, and on the airline. So I think the question would be, from critics and skeptics, is if you're such a great businessman, if you can cut any deal, what happened in the 1990s? Why were you not able to make those a success, and why did you have to take such a stunning loss?
So this is, what, 8 years after The Art of the Deal came out, million-selling book that really made Donald Trump a household name all over the country. You're saying if he loses $1 billion, almost $1 billion in 1995, that hurts his case.
I'm just saying that this is his entire premise for his candidacy, is that he is a businessman who knows how to cut deals, who hires thousands of people, who creates success. And I think if you look into this entire story, yes, there's the one question of did he pay taxes, which is getting the focal point of attention. I think it's a legitimate question. But I think the more damaging part is looking at, well, why did he take such a loss if he is such a successful businessman? Let's drive down into these businesses a little bit more. I'm from New Jersey. I know what Atlantic City looks like. They're on hard times now. And a lot of it has to do with the Trump casinos sitting on the boardwalk looking dilapidated. What happened? Why couldn't you make that a success? I think those are the questions that he may have to answer after, if he can maneuver past the tax question. I think this is the real heart of questions that he will need to answer in the coming days.
Well, you heard Rudy Giuliani, who is a Trump supporter, say, you know, look, this is the law. The law allows it. It's not illegal. Giuliani, a former federal prosecutor, a guy who knows the law well. He also said, you know, he evoked comparisons to people like Steve Jobs and even Winston Churchill, guys who were well down in their lines of work and came roaring back to literally change the world. Can that comparison, I mean, is it apt here?
I think it's tough to compare Trump to Churchill. I think that is a stretch for most people. Look, he definitely came back in the sense of building back his brand and putting out The Apprentice. But now there's another troubling story about the conduct that he exhibited while he was involved in that show. So, again, the overarching point is that Donald Trump is on defense again. We're 5 weeks out. He is behind in this campaign by anywhere from 5 to 7 points in most states. The first debate, he took a bigger hit. So now he's on defense. And every day he's explaining, whether it be the tax returns, whether it be why he lost so much money in Atlantic City on properties there, or his conduct during The Apprentice. That is a lost day for Donald Trump, and he needs to be adding to his voter tally, not explaining, you know, critiques of his candidacy that could cost him voters.
Our latest Fox poll has him down by 5. That's a national result. David Catanese, always good to have you on. Thanks, David.
Thanks, John.